tell us what's going on with Peter Mrazek?
Yeah, he's getting evaluated here now, but we'll find out more tomorrow specifically. But he tweaked something the other day and just wasn't feeling right, so you're evaluating that, and I think probably tomorrow we'll have more information on that.
Is it related to his previous issue?
Yes.
Why was Wall the choice to come up?
I think a combination of the fact that we liked his camp, and he's coming off of what was regarded as a really strong start for him, but also just Källgren played yesterday. Hutchinson's going to play today for the Marlies. So Wall was the guy to come here, and we think it's a really good opportunity for him to come in and be around our group.
Jack has played so well. Is there any concern about the workload with him? Obviously, he's playing a lot, playing well, but what's your sense of that?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it concern just because he's been really healthy, and I think we've managed him well on off days or practice days, and it's for the workload purpose. But the schedule right now is pretty good in the sense no back-to-backs coming up till the end of next week. So we feel obviously very comfortable just continuing with Jack.
You split up the four lines a bit to try and get a spark in the last game. What have you seen from going back to the other guys, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Marner, those groups that you wanted to stick with them now moving forward?
I just think that those guys have done a good job, and the other night wasn't really reflective of anything I've felt about the Lions as a whole. It was just in the game there wasn't a whole lot happening. So I thought, particularly with the Tavares line, I thought that they really needed a boost there and change the chemistry a little bit. So putting Willie there, I think we got that. That line ended up giving us some real good shifts toward the end of that second period. But I had full intention of putting them back there together. I want to give that a little more runway, and I foresee it being something that moves around throughout the season. But we'll stick with what we saw this morning here tonight.
What have you seen from Kasha on the penalty kill?
I think first of all, he gives you everything he has, and no matter what you ask of him. So that's the first thing. We use him on the power play a lot through camp and the early portion of the season there. But we've been wanting to give Engvall a little bit longer look on that power play. So in order to get more out of Kasha, we've put him on the penalty kill, and he did some of that in preseason as well. Something he hasn't done a great deal of in his time in the NHL, but I had spoken with him about it, and he was more than willing to take on that challenge. And I think he's done a really good job. But the biggest thing is he just works, and he gives you everything that he has. If he makes a mistake, it's not for lack of competitiveness or trying or having the right intentions. So he's learned along the way, but a lot of times, whether it's penalty kill or 5-on-5, if you're a guy that gives everything you have, you find ways to be effective because you're just consistently, putting yourself in good spots, and you're consistently making up for any mistakes yourself or anybody else on the ice might be making.
You've coached Willie Nylander for a long time. Do you think this is the best hockey that you've seen from him while he started this year?
Willie's played a lot of really good hockey. I don't think it's been his best. I think he's got more to give. He's played really well, for sure. He's produced. He's scored some huge goals to win us games. I think shift to shift his entire game, he's been better at times last season. I thought he was outstanding. And I think he's shown at times that level. But in terms of the shift to shift play, I think he has a lot more to give, as all of our guys do. But the fact that he's producing and he's clutch and, 2 overtime winning goals now, a game-winning goal in the first game of the season, in the third period. I'm trying to think of the others, but he's scoring at big times, important times for us, and that's important because that itself is a skill, to come out in that time and to do that. But I still believe Willie's got a lot more to give, which is obviously great news for us.
Is Hall sitting again?
One more time.
Is Hall sitting again?
He is, yes.
How do you manage that balance between rewarding the winning lineup versus maybe risking Hall getting discouraged?
Yeah, it is a balance. I mean, in terms of him getting discouraged, he's in control of how he handles this, and how he manages that. And I talked to him today, just again, as I have been throughout this. We didn't intend on him sitting this long, frankly, but just the way that it's gone. The others have played well. The team's played well and had success. So it's on him to stay engaged, continue to work, and make sure when his opportunity comes that he's ready to go. That's really it. I mean, Timothy Liljegren sat for a long time and has come into the lineup and hasn't missed a beat and has been rolling. So, it's on the players to stay ready. It's on us as coaches to keep them engaged and keep working with them and all those kind of things. But he has to be patient here right now.
What are the points of emphasis for your guys in the penalty kill tonight?
Well, first thing we want to do our best to stay out of the box. But it's anytime you play against a team that executes the way they do, and they've had such a long history of success. Here they're coming off of a night where Bergeron filled the net. You want to limit how much time they spend in your zone. That's a big thing. So when to face off, do a good job up ice. Try to disrupt their time in zone as much as you can. In terms of the structure and how you defend in zone, there's some nuances to that, of course, but ultimately at 5-on-4, if the other team's going to spend time in your end with players of their caliber, with the way that they move it around and the threats that they have around the ice, it's not a good scene for us. So we're looking to disrupt them as much as we can.
You got Bergeron and Spezza, two guys in their late 30s, very good in the face-off circle. How valuable is that for teams to have that veteran presence you can put out in that situation?
Yeah, really important, especially right-handed guys. They're a little bit harder to find that way. We've used Spez in that regard. Obviously, we've got all left-handed centermen other than Spez, so his ability to get out there and take those draws is important for us. Bergeron obviously has been doing it for a long time as the class of the league in that regard, and it's a huge asset for Boston, in all areas of the ice.
Did you see McDavid's goal last night? Are you glad you don't have to face him 9 times this year?
I'm focused on Boston.